Hello and welcome back to another show of the Amber Wave podcast. I am your host, Stephen. No James this week, just because of how our scheduling has worked at work. We have no crossover time that we can record together. So I am your sole host for today. So firstly, looking back at last match, which was Great Yarmouth Town versus Harwich and Parkston. Harwich were currently sitting 5th, I believe, with Great Yarmouth sitting 2nd. The reverse fixture was a Harwich win 4-2, quite a controversial win. But the game, I've plucked this off of the match report, so just a spoken match report of just the key bits, just because I wasn't at the game, I was at the theatre. According to all sources, the match started really well. Some great play from both teams, and I did see a picture of the surface because there was a lot of rain in the midweek, and the groundsman did an absolutely amazing job because the pitch looked like a carpet. It looked very, very good. On the 15th minute mark, Camwell whipped in a great corner to the back post, which got a Duffy head onto it and went into the back of the net. However, the referee spotted a push and the goal was ruled out. So it was 0-0. On the half-hour mark, though, Duffy connected with a perfect cross for Barber with a low diving header, and it sailed into the net, which then did make it 1-0. Other than that, not really anything else happened in the first half. On the 72nd minute, though, the home side, so Great Yarmouth Town, another goal disallowed. Again for offside. Sanders put the ball into the back of the net from close range, but the referee and the linesman put his flag up for the offside. The referee then ruled the goal out. On the 75th minute, just 3 minutes later, the Harwich manager received a straight red card for encroaching on our technical area. I heard a lot of stories of what happened in that technical area. I don't know how much of it is true, how much of it is what people are saying, or if anything is made out any more than it actually was, so I won't comment on that because that is literally just hearsay. But the fact is that the Harwich manager encroached on the Great Yarmouth technical area, left his technical area onto our technical area, and received a straight red card, which did mean that he had to leave the field of play and he would watch the rest of the game in the stands. Just 3 minutes after that, his day got even worse. Cousins nutmegged the Harwich defender on the touchline before cutting the ball in and taking it round the keeper to slot it home and make it 2-0 to the Bloaters. Other than that, not really much else happened from what I can read and what I've been told by other supporters there on the day. I did manage to get there after the theatre performance at about the 90th minute, so I did manage to watch additional time, so at least I got to watch a few minutes of them. But from all accounts, a very good performance and another win. So after the Whole Beach loss midweek, which was frustrating for many reasons, obviously the pitch wasn't great and it was a long way away, and it was a bit of a impossible task for us. We're back to winning ways, and then that does mean that we've only lost one league game since the start of October. The last loss before that was weirdly Harwich, a 4-2 loss on the 30th of September. So we're back onto that form. A little bit on the league table, so we're still sitting second behind Framlingham on 2 points, same games played. Framlingham beat Whole Beach, the team that beat us, this weekend just gone. However, they do have to play them at Whole Beach this Saturday, and if the pitch is anything like the pitch was against when we played them, then that could be a very interesting game, and with a win on Saturday could take us top. So that game out of the way, looking forward to this Saturday, where Great Yarmouth Town play away to Swaffam. As I said earlier, Great Yarmouth, 2 points off the top, second place. and we've won the last 4 out of 5. That one loss coming to that 1-0 defeat against Holbeach. Swaffam, they've just won 1 of their last 5, so they have won 1, drawn 2, and lost 3. So on paper, it should be a Great Yarmouth win. On paper, when we played them at the reverse fixture just before Christmas, or just after Christmas, around Christmas period, we beat Swaffam 7-0 at ours. However, just because we beat them 7-0 at ours doesn't mean we're going to beat them 7-0 at theirs or at all, because we all know that literally any team can beat anyone on any given day, not just in the Thurlow None, but in general, any league at all. Now, unfortunately, because of how mine and James's rotas work, for this week in particular, we've had no crossover, like I've said earlier in the video. That means that there's no head-to-head this week, just because we have had no time in between to meet up and do the podcast together or record together at any point. So we have no head-to-head this week. However, we still have an interview. And this week, I am interviewing over a video call kids radio host Alfie Jackson. Alfie Jackson has started coming to a lot of the Yarmouth games, and he does some fantastic commentary for the Bloaters and on many other games, including Norwich Women's as well. So I've sat down with him and we've had an interview. So take a look here. I'm here with Alfie from Kids Talk Radio. Thank you, Alfie, for coming on the show this week. It's nice to have you. Obviously, interview. So a few questions for you, really. So initially, what sort of made you get into football? What made you fall in love with it?
So, falling in love with football early on when I was younger wasn't really my plan, because obviously my brother, he's a Cambridge academy player, so I had to go to all his games. He played for a local team, I had to go to all them games. That was every Saturday, like the odd Sunday. So I got a bit bored just standing watching, but as I've got older, following league football, I've got more into it, and I'm a goalie, and goalies are the best.
Yeah, goalies. Like, I'm a goalie too. So it works out perfectly, doesn't it? So go on to the next one. Kids Talk Radio. Great show. How did you come up with it, and sort of why?
I came up with it really because I love music my whole life. I'm a massive music nerd. And it's more the fact that when you're a kid and you don't really want to listen to not the same song, but like you want to hear a different thing, or you're all into different stuff. So it's more of a station to get you listening to different songs that you really want to listen to, and to more get the interest of you instead of like a set group of people.
Yeah, makes so much sense. I remember as a kid, like, trying to flick through radio stations, going, "Oh, this is boring. This is boring. This is classical. This is boring." So what sort of made you want to do commentary on games like Norwich Women and Great Yarmouth, rather than sort of the Premier League, sort of like giants like Manchester United, City, Liverpool?
Definitely the location part, because I'm obviously closer, but mainly the fact that it's not really covered. It's like, obviously Man City, you got Sky, you got all the big names. Whereas, yeah, there's goals in them games. I mean, obviously the FA Cup yesterday, that was a 7-goal. No,
8 goals.
Yeah, 7-goal. Oh,
8, 6-2.
Oh, okay. So yeah, obviously that was a high-scoring game, but more the fact that you get them results, but you don't get them too often, and also the fact that the lower leagues like Yarmouth, Thurlow, or the FA Women's National League, isn't really followed as much, and obviously you get some high-scoring games in it, so it's more to keep fans connected with their smaller teams. It's like Maidstone United, they've got their own station to cover their games, so it's more about getting the fans connected to the club if they can't be there.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I know Yarmouth. We have some fans in America. We have some fans who live all the way up, like near Newcastle way. It's brilliant that like instead of sort of like refreshing the Twitter page frantically, that they're able to sort of sit and listen to it, which is fantastic.
And
Um,
now watch as well.
yeah. Now going on to the commentary side of it and doing the commentary. Obviously, there's some games that is a little bit boring. There's some games that there's always the action. So, what has been the best game, your favourite game so far that you have commentated on?
Definitely that Wishing United one, because that was a amazing game. The score line, but even apart from that, the save from Ling, the goals from Duffy, and everyone, all round, it was just a wonderful performance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was such a good performance, and to grind out that result and the goals, like the Witten goal, it was like one of them that goes in. You're like, oh, you're lucky to have scored that. That's a fluky goal. But then to score what, two or three of exactly the same very very lucky goals. So obviously as a Yarmouth fan, what do you think the best game of the season that you have been to so far was?
Probably again Witten, but obviously there has been some high scoring games. But just the fact that the Witten game, there was everything. There was goals, there was drama, and there was also obviously there was a massive crowd, so the food was great, and also there was that save from Ling that was going top corner that had me screaming louder than all the goals.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. And okay, so the league is heating up coming to the end of the season. Framlingham are top by 2 points. Yarmouth second. Same games played. They play each other at the Wellesley very soon. The fixture before the first leg of the fixture, it finished Framlingham 1, Great Yarmouth 1. Great Yarmouth's goal coming from an own goal. What do you think the scoreline is going to be for it?
Well, an own goal, obviously, if Framlingham did put one in, would be amazing for Yarmouth. But I think going off that, and obviously the fact that Framlingham are top, they want to keep that spot. Yarmouth will want to get to that top spot or get as many points as possible. I think Framlingham will play their best team. Yarmouth will play their best, and I think it will be a 1-0 win to Yarmouth. And I think it will be Duffield to get the goal because he scored in every game I've gone to. He scored at least one, if not more.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very very interesting hard game, and I think it will be the season defining game for both clubs. So obviously you think Yarmouth's gonna scrape that victory against Fram. Where do you think Yarmouth are going to finish come the end of the season?
I think it's a hard one because obviously to get top, we need at least Framlingham to lose or at least to beat Framlingham when we play them, but then go back on that winning streak we were on. But I think top spot is not too much to ask, but it's also you don't want to focus on wanting to score them goals to get top spot. Even say like drawing and then going up to the top through goal difference. You just you can if you focus on that too hard, you'll lose focus on. Obviously, if you keep losing, trying that hard could end up making you lose more points than not. So I think Yarmouth should aim, obviously, to get to the top, but if not, be happy with second and then focus all their efforts on the playoffs.
Yeah, and if we do go into the playoffs, chances are we're going to go in second, like you've said. So we're 9 points currently clear of third place. Third place has played a couple more games than everyone else. If the team below them, who I can't remember off the top of my head, if they win their games in hand, they go third, and we are 8 points clear. So that's what, three wins. So Yarmouth would have to lose 3, and the other team would have to win 3 out of the remaining games. So if we do finish second will play 5th at home. So we would be at home, and then if we win that, we would go through to the final. 3rd versus 4th. Whoever wins that will then also go to the final. And if Yarmouth are in that final, Yarmouth will be at home because they're the highest ranking team. Do you think if we do end up in the playoffs, do you think we'll get promoted to the Third Lowland Premier?
Yes, I do, because I think we'll focus, like, if there's, like, say, one game left the season before playoffs, and even if we were to draw or lose it, it wouldn't obviously affect our position. If that's the case, I think Yarmouth would get their, like, not the younger squad, but, like, keep their best players on the bench and, like, keep them getting prepared for the playoffs. So I think they could have, like, if they can make sure that they stay second, if that's the realistic space, but then focus on keeping enough points away from the 3rd place to then be able to play their younger squad. Obviously, hope for a win, but with it being the last game of the season, hope that they don't have to worry about, say, dropping the 3 points and then focusing all their best players. What we don't want is to play your normal squad in the last game of the season and then have, say, Duffield or your best, or Ling, or even Ling, have him get injured, and then have, obviously, I don't know if Yarmouth have a spare goalie. I've never noticed one on the bench, so I didn't know.
Yeah, so it's. I'm also not too sure on the goalie situation. I know we have had a lad called Pereira, who's a goalkeeper. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him on a team sheet for a while. I know we have Alex Ritchies, who's the goalkeeper coach, who I believe came back from injury not too long ago. I know he's a good keeper. We also have Freddie Allen, who's the under-18 keeper, who's not too bad. But yeah, we don't really have a substitute keeper, like a nailed on substitute keeper that travels with the team every single week that's on the bench. But then again, also I don't think that many clubs at this level have that. Just like the chances of a goalkeeper getting injured is slim, but going into the last game of the season, if top spot is unachievable and you have no worries about third spot dropping into third spot, if it's mathematically impossible, then yeah, I would agree with you to say, like, look, play a team that you're not gonna be heartbroken if, let's say, Duffield gets injured, because we know Duffield can, like, make magic happen. Campwell can make magic happen. Fenn can make magic happen. There's so many players that can make magic happen, and like even losing one of them will be a big blow. Yeah. Well, thanks ever so much. One more question. Oh no, you answered that question, or did you? I can't remember. I'm going to ask you it again. Have I asked you, who do you think has been your best player? Who's your favourite player of the season so far?
So you didn't ask that one.
I didn't ask that one. There we go. I would have missed that out otherwise.
I'm glad you asked it. And I think it's gonna have to go. It's between Ling and Duffy, but even though Ling's made some screamers, like some screamers, and put some great balls down, I'm gonna have to give it to Duffy purely because he likes to leave everything to. He doesn't like to do it the easy way sometimes. He likes to put in them last minute winners, and he's had some great goals. He's had some great footwork. He's been more on it from what I've seen than Ling, but obviously not disregarding anyone because the whole team's amazing. But definitely Ling. Yeah, not Duffy, in my opinion. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'd agree as well. Like, there's so many. I've got three in mind, and it's Ling, Adams, and Duffy, because they've all been brilliant this season, and it's going to be very interesting to see who the fans player of the season is, because I reckon it could be a 5 or 6 horse race, with with the amount of quality that we have. But thank you ever so much for doing the interview today, Alfie. It's very much appreciated, and I'm sure that I will be seeing you at the Pass and Drove game.
100%. See you then.
See you then.
Fantastic, lovely. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Other than that, there is not really much else for this podcast. I know it's a little bit shorter than normal. Obviously, there's no me and James, so it's a lot shorter. But if you enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe, and please share it. We're just trying to get the scope out on Great Yarmouth and the podcast as much as possible. If anyone wanted to appear as a interview or come onto the show, please give us a message, get in contact with us. Our handle on Twitter is @AmberWaveGY, and if you search Amberwave on Facebook, then you should be able to find us. Follow us on our socials, follow us on the YouTube videos. That's all we have time for, and we will see you next week for another podcast.